Today, Hualien, on Taiwan's east coast, experienced the direct impact of Typhoon Podul, which strengthened into a moderate tropical storm. Since morning, strong winds and torrential rain have pounded the city, causing significant disruption to community life and local infrastructure. According to Taiwan's Central Meteorological Administration, CWA, the storm is packing winds of up to 191 kilometers per hour, making it one of the most powerful typhoons to hit Taiwan in recent years. Typhoon Podul began to intensify early in the morning. Satellite imagery showed a giant vortex of clouds moving rapidly from the Pacific Ocean, with a low-pressure center growing stronger. As the typhoon made landfall in Taitung and spread over Hualien, atmospheric pressure dropped dramatically, and winds ripped off roofs, uprooted ancient trees, and battered parked vehicles. In Shofeng District, 62-year-old Lin Meihua described the moment with a trembling voice. "I've never seen wind like this. My windows shook as if they were going to shatter. We all hid under tables, praying that the house wouldn't collapse." The Taiwanese government acted swiftly. In less than 6 hours after the warning was issued, more than 5,500 residents in coastal and low-lying areas had been evacuated to emergency shelters. Schools, government offices, and shopping malls were closed. At Hualien Airport, dozens of flights were canceled, leaving hundreds of passengers stranded. Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen, in an emergency press conference, stated, "The safety of our citizens is our top priority. We have deployed military forces and search and rescue teams to assist with evacuations and aid distribution. We urge all residents to remain calm and follow official instructions." The threat came not only from the wind, but also from the sea. Waves as high as 6 meters battered Hualien Harbor, forcing fishing boats to take shelter in coves. On Green Island and Lanyu, small islands off the coast of Taitung, communications were cut off for several hours due to damage to transmission towers. On land, heavy rains caused flash floods in several mountain villages. Rivers overflowed, carrying mud and rocks onto roads. Taiwan's eastern highway, connecting Hualien with Taitung and Nantou, was completely closed due to landslides at 3 points. In downtown Hualien, the atmosphere changed drastically. Traffic lights were out, shops were closed, and the streets were empty. Only the occasional sirens of ambulances and police cars could be heard, piercing the relentless roar of the wind. Residents who couldn't evacuate took refuge in basements or more sturdy concrete buildings. A Red Cross volunteer, Chun Wei, recounted her experience. "We went to old houses and helped the elderly get out. Many were terrified, not knowing where to go. We took them to schools that had been converted into shelters. There, we provided food, blankets, and psychological support." Taiwan is known for its sophisticated early warning system. Through its mobile communications network, the government sends emergency messages to millions of citizens' mobile phones, containing information about the typhoon's path, evacuation points, and emergency numbers. This system has proven to be a lifesaver, especially in remote areas. However, challenges remain. In some mountainous areas, signal transmission is lost, and residents do not receive warnings. The SAR team had to use drones and helicopters to reach the area. As of 5 p.m. local time, preliminary reports stated 3 people were killed, including a child struck by a falling tree. 27 people were injured, mostly by falling debris. More than 1,200 homes were damaged, with 300 of them severely damaged. Power outages in more than 80,000 households. The government has promised reconstruction and compensation assistance to affected residents. Medical teams from various cities have been deployed to Hualien to strengthen health services. Typhoon Podul is not limited to Taiwan. Neighboring countries such as the Philippines and Japan are also monitoring the weather system's progress. In the northern Philippines, heavy rains have begun to fall, and local governments have issued early warnings. International organizations such as UN OCHA and the Asia-Pacific Red Cross have expressed readiness to assist if needed. Global solidarity is evident, with many countries offering logistical and medical assistance. Typhoon Podul, which struck Hualien, was more than just a meteorological event. It was a major test for Taiwan's people, government, and overall resilience. With strong winds reaching over 190 kilometers per hour and torrential rains that caused flooding and landslides, the storm transformed the physical and social landscape of eastern Taiwan in a matter of hours. Amid the devastation, however, a remarkable picture of resilience emerged. Hualien residents displayed a touching display of solidarity, from teachers who opened their classrooms as shelters to volunteers who braved the storm to rescue elderly people and children. The Taiwanese government acted swiftly, activating its early warning system, evacuating thousands of residents, and deploying troops and medical personnel to the affected areas. This disaster also highlighted the importance of long-term preparedness. Storm-resistant infrastructure, public education on evacuation, and emergency logistics systems must be continuously strengthened. Furthermore, this event served as a reminder that global climate change can increase the intensity and frequency of tropical cyclones, requiring Taiwan and other Pacific nations to prepare for a more extreme future. From a humanitarian perspective, Typhoon Podul demonstrated that hope is never truly lost. In shelters, children continued to play, parents shared food, and communities strengthened one another. Amid the rubble of buildings and flooded streets, the spirit of rebuilding grew strong. Now, as the skies begin to clear and the winds subside, a significant task lies ahead: physical recovery, emotional recovery, and rebuilding lives. But one thing is clear: Hualien is not just a city battered by a storm, but a city that has risen again, with heads held high and hearts full of hope. Typhoon Podul may have passed, but the story of the courage and resilience of the Hualien people will live on, inspiring the world that even in the face of the forces of nature, human strength remains unwavering.